Howdy ho and welcome, I am the Headphone Addict. So this is my review of the spectacular Audio-Technica ATH-M50X, which is an improved version of the earlier M50s, which were a Grand Slam bestseller globally for many years. Firstly, I'd like to point out that I bought these at retail after seeing all the praise on them, and I regret not having done so sooner, as they've quickly become my main pair of closed back headphones. As for this review, it will be structured into 4 parts: specifications, build quality, accessories and sound quality. Links to each respective part can be found in the description. For people who would also like to see some measurements, there'll be a link to that at the end of the review. Specifications. Firstly, they're closed back headphones, which makes them portable since they isolate sounds from the outside. They actually isolate pretty well. When I measured their isolation capabilities, they lowered the noise floor by an average of 8 decibels, when the outside noise were 60 decibels, which, by the way, is about as loud as it is in a shopping mall. So 8 decibels might not seem a lot, but it's actually pretty good. They have a sensitivity of 99 decibels, which means they will play very loud with very little power. Furthermore, their impedance is only 38 ohms, which means they are not very demanding on any given amplifier. What this all means is that these headphones will work excellent for portable use, such as playing music from your smartphone or MP3 player. What I'm trying to convey here is that the M50s doesn't need an external amplifier, and this saves you a lot of money. So even though they are marketed as professional studio monitor headphones, they also work very well outside of the studio, and I think these are equally qualified for consumers out to enjoy music as for professionals out to monitor their work. Build quality. They come across as very durable, being built in hard plastic and steel. Look-wise, the M50X comes in 2 standard color schemes, black and white. Furthermore, these headphones are very flexible, and this gives you a nice, comfortable fit. These are, as I said, over-ear headphones, and the pads are replaceable and very soft. The mouth of them are big enough for most ears out there, especially now that Audio-Technica has made the mouth bigger in the X version. The pads are a bit shallow, so you can expect them to suckle a little bit on the tip of your ears if they're sticking out more than normal. They also swivel in both directions to give a better seal and fit. The M50s are easy to take on and off and doesn't require a lot of adjusting to sit right, which can be a problem with other cans. Also, the headband of the headphones extend a lot, so even the elephant man would be able to enjoy the M50s. However, the clamping force on brand new pairs are a bit strong and they need to be worn in. You can do as I did. I placed them on a box and let them sit there for a couple of days to lessen the clamping force. As I said, they're flexible, and this enables them to fold up quite nicely, as can be seen here. They can also be laid flat like this, which is great if you're bringing them along for interstellar travel and need to backlight. So all in all, very well engineered and built with great flexibility, which yields a good fit. Okay, so time for the accessories. The M50X comes with a pouch, 3 cables and a small to big jack adapter, meaning 3.5mm to 6.35mm. First, let's look at the pouch. Here it is, and while I would have liked a hard case for these headphones, they are probably durable enough to withstand normal stress, but I wouldn't put them in a bag full of heavy textbooks. Also, the pouch is pretty simplistic with no padding on the inside, but it's a pouch and it's good, okay? Take the pouch. As for the cable is detachable and locks into place with a proprietary mechanism, forcing you to go to Audio-Technica for potential replacements. However, since they come with 3 cables, 2 of which I haven't even used as I think the coiled one works flawlessly, that shouldn't be an issue. So the first cable is a coiled 1.2 to 3 meter when you extend it at max. The next one is a straight 1.2 meter cable, the third is a 3 meter straight cable. All of them have a 2.5mm jack that attaches to the headphones and 3.5mm that goes into your device. If the cables or pads needs replacing, you can get replacements. The cable costs $20–30 depending on which you want, and I find that a bit expensive, whereas the new pair of pads will set you back an equal amount, which isn't bad compared to some of the other manufacturers out there. And last but not least, sound quality. The sound quality of the M50X is excellent considering what they cost. They are indeed a bargain. It's worth to mention that when people who are into audio hear the word studio monitor, they often think sterile and boring sounding with piercing highs. With the M50X, this is certainly not the case. Their tonality comes across as very well balanced. What I mean by that is that there is not too much bass, there is not too forward mids, and not piercingly elevated highs. They do have a somewhat elevated bass, but since our hearing is less sensitive to bass than to mids, this only makes them sound fuller and richer and better balanced. As for the bass quality is very good, and not muddy such as with the Beats by Dre Pro. They do also pack a semi-decent mid-bass punch, which is very exciting on a lot of contemporary music, also rock music. Furthermore, the bass doesn't bleed into the mids like with some other less refined cans. As for the mids, in the mids department they're also good, with very clear and clean vocals that doesn't stand out too much but isn't recessed either. We're back to what I said about them being well balanced basically. So clear and crisp, clean vocals. As for the treble, they're not harsh, they're never harsh. I've tried all the tracks I'm using for testing against sibilants at various volumes and they just aren't. They do have very good sparkle in the treble, and this gives a sense of air around instruments. But they aren't as refined as something like the Sennheiser Momentum. But the Momentums are less balanced than these, and also they are more expensive. Detail wise they're decent but not great, however I believe there is a trade-off between being well balanced and being detailed. To get more details, a lot of headphones have elevated highs. Here the far more expensive flagships from Sennheiser, Beyerdynamic and Fostex comes to mind. To retrieve the details, they elevate the upper mids and lower highs, and this tends to make them sibilant and harsh, often resulting in listening fatigue. At least to young people who are sensitive to these frequencies, as their high frequency hearing is intact. You won't get that with these. So these are not sibilant and will not give you listening fatigue, which is important if you're using them a lot. Sound staging is good, as is holographic imaging. You can get better, but you probably need to fork out more money for cans, so it's good within this price range. So all in all, these headphones are highly regarded and recommended by me. They're well balanced, crisp and clear, rich sounding with great bass extension quality and mid-bass punch, and they also have good mids. More importantly, they don't induce listening fatigue, and they often make me forget about headphones and just enjoy the music, which is hard considering I'm a headphone addict. So this has basically been my review of the excellent and extraordinary Audio-Technica ATH-M50X, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, here are 4 other videos I made for your ultimate pleasure. And as always, I'm available for your total service in the comment section, and I do appreciate any and all feedback, even the negative ones. If you liked the video, remember to subscribe and thumb it up till your finger bleeds. Okay, thank you.